Amy at EuroLuxHome.com. Welcome back to YouTube. If you enjoy learning about European antiques, be sure to like this video, subscribe, and maybe even share it with a friend who might also enjoy learning about European antiques. So I thought it would be really interesting today to explore this very unique and unusual antique Renaissance center table or dining table. It's our item number 25-42, and this table really has a mystery about it. It has very unusual carvings down below of a turtle and a hunchback, but we'll get into that a little bit later. First, I'll just tell you what I know about the table is that it is completely hand carved in solid walnut, and it dates somewhere between 1850 to 1870, so it's a nice old one. And like I said, it's very unusual. The dimensions are 28.5 high by 51.25 wide and 39.25 deep. And so this shape is what we call a center table, or it could be used as a small dining table. What makes it a little bit more unusual is that it has a glass top. And we don't know if this is the original glass top, but most likely there was some sort of glass top, because as you come and look in, you can actually look through the top of this glass top to see the very unusual carvings of a turtle and a hunchback. And so let's go down below and we'll talk a little bit more about what this could possibly mean. So what I think for sure is that this table was most likely commissioned for a specific patron, and it had a specific symbolic meaning. And we know that symbols have been used for allegory throughout time in art to convey abstract ideas or moral lessons or values. And so I do think that there is a specific meaning to this table, and I think that it has to do with patience and perseverance and resilience and relying on wisdom to help one through one's life journey, or potentially in a spiritual awakening or transformation. So that's a big meaning. How did I come to that? So let's break it down. So first of all, we have this figure. It's a human figure, and he actually has a little smile on his face. He's wearing a little hat, but he has a hunchback, or it's some sort of physical deformity. So we know that we have a humanoid figure, but with some sort of physical deformity. And really, he does look like a hunchback. And so hunchbacks throughout time in literature and art have represented the idea of being different, of being separate from the norm, of being isolated or as an outsider, or perhaps being marginalized because of a physical deformity. So we have that theme, but often the hunchback is then portrayed as having unexpected hidden qualities or unique talents that in some way represents wisdom. And so we have the theme then with the hunchback of this idea of overcoming physical limitation or society's judgment of someone with a physical abnormality, and this idea of a recognition that someone's internal beauty or internal worth or value is not based on their outside appearance. And so throughout time, the hunchback has represented significant transformation. This idea that it's someone who has some sort of impediment or physical deformity or hindrance, but yet they're able to overcome through wisdom or some sort of personal skill. So then let's look at the figure of the turtle, because we have this great big turtle. The hunchback is actually riding on the back of the turtle. The turtle has a little face there. And then actually all four legs of the table are on little turtles, and the little turtles are actually carrying the weight of the table. So it is a bit of a whimsical theme. So let's explore turtles themselves. Turtles have been used as symbolic objects for a long time. If we go all the way back to Chinese mythology, the turtle represents longevity or endurance or even immortality because the turtle lives for so long. Turtles have a very long lifespan. And so in Chinese mythology, that's the idea of this, of endurance, of immortality, of longevity. Now, turtles also represent wisdom. And you may have heard of Aesop and Aesop's fables, and that goes all the way back to the 6th century BCE, before Christ, is when the figure of Aesop was gathering his fables or writing them. And we have the story of the tortoise and the hare that you may have heard of. And to sum it up, the hare or the rabbit was always picking at the tortoise or the turtle because he was so slow and deliberate. And so the turtle actually challenges the rabbit to a race, and the rabbit thinks, psh, I'm going to win this, no sweat. And so the rabbit goes and takes a nap because he knows that the turtle's going to take forever. But then the turtle, through patience and perseverance, actually wins the race. And so it's this theme, this idea that patience, persistence, using wisdom is how you reach success. But the turtle also has a deeper meaning. Turtles have often represented a spiritual nature or a spiritual transformation. Turtles are thought to bring good luck and blessings. In Native American cultures, they were thought to be associated with the creation story, that either the turtle represents the earth itself or that the turtle carries the earth on its back. And we also, looking out in Indian culture, in the Hindu religion, there's a great myth of Vishnu, who's one of the great deities in Hindu religion, and Vishnu actually creates an avatar of a giant turtle named Kurma, and that turtle also plays a role in a creation story that has to do with the churning of the ocean. So again, another divine representation of a turtle. But this idea of the turtle as being a spiritual connection probably is because a turtle can transition between land and water. So the turtle is an intermediary between realms. And just as the turtle goes back and forth between land and water, the turtle can represent the idea of being on earth or in heaven or a divine realm, this connection between realms. And if we look at the actual physical body of a turtle, it has a very hard protective shell, and when difficulties happen, the turtle can withdraw into its shell for safety, for security, for protection. And then it's able to withstand challenges and then reemerge when the danger has passed. So this ability to withdraw and then reemerge and live or survive through difficulties is not only its physical reality, but it has this greater spiritual meaning that likewise, when man can withdraw and retreat and then become reborn or transformed after experiencing a difficult situation or withstanding challenges. So this idea of transformation, healing, rebirth, renewal, all of those ideas are associated with the turtle. And again, using one's wisdom to navigate one's life's journey, or perhaps to navigate spiritual awakening or transformation. So we've looked at the idea of what the hunchback represents and what the turtle represents, but we actually have more carvings on this table. We haven't even looked here along the edge of the table, and this goes all the way around the table, are these very ornate scroll-like organic patterns of leaves, and then interspersed in the leaves are portraits of monks. And we have different faces, and they are a bit different as you go all the way around the table. So I don't know specifically which monks these are, but they certainly do represent monks. And so perhaps these are particular monks of a particular order that perhaps this table was made for, or perhaps there are certain fathers of a particular order that were meaningful to whoever paid to commission this table. So, since we have this Christian iconography, we know for sure that there is a Christian influence to the symbols used on the table. So first, if we just talk about the monastic life, right, the life of a monk, they withdraw from society. They, rather than being active out in the world, they're in a monastery where they spend a contemplative life in prayer and meditation, much like the turtle withdraws. And like a hunchback, the monks are different. They are isolated from society. They are socially different. They're not part of the norm of everyday life. And so both of our symbols of the hunchback and the turtle could actually represent the monks. So now we have a triple reinforcement of meaning. But I looked through a lot of stories, Christian stories, trying to find specifically a story about a hunchback and a turtle, and I could not find a specific story, but what I did find is the story of Saint Anthony the Abbot and the temptation. And Saint Anthony the Abbot is actually a 4th century Egyptian saint, and he was considered one of the Christian desert fathers. He actually is considered the father of monasticism, or the father of this idea of withdrawing into a monastery to lead a contemplative life separate from everyone else's life. And so Saint Anthony goes out into the desert, and he gives up all of his he was very wealthy, and he gives up all of his worldly possessions and goes out into the desert and is very isolated. He's living in very harsh conditions, and he begins to experience internal struggles of wondering is this the right decision? There's thoughts that very attractive women come to him in dreams, or he experiences all of the temptations and desires of everyone's life, of missing particular meals or food, or missing the pleasures in life, and being tempted by these thoughts. And so throughout medieval and Renaissance art, if we look at exploration of the Saint Anthony the Abbot myth, the temptations are actually pictorially depicted as little demons or little misshapen figures. And so perhaps our hunchback represents this internal struggle, or the St. Anthony's temptation itself. And if we think that if this table was used as a dining table with a glass top, if we had monks sitting around it looking down through the glass, they could see the figure of the hunchback on the turtle and contemplate this idea that through spiritual transformation, through patience, resilience, endurance, through faith, relying on one's faith, that one could overcome this human struggle of temptations and desires to lead a life based on spiritual growth, which is what the monk does in the monastery. So that is how I come up with the meaning of this really interesting and unusual turtle and hunchback table, to mean that it represents the human struggle to overcome whatever challenges one has in one's life's journey through perseverance, patience, resilience, and wisdom. If I can answer any additional questions for you, please feel free to reach out at 803-276-4001. Or if you have an alternate story of what this turtle means, please feel free to leave that in the comments below as well. Remember that EuroLuxHome.com does include free shipping within the continental US and some places in Canada. See you next time.